For those of you that watched Overhauling, you'll recognize this building. This is where we filmed season 10 of Overhauling, and inside it has changed quite a bit. It's no longer used to, shall we say, produce a television show. It's now used to store a lot of projects. I'm gonna open this door and I'm gonna let you in because most people never get the chance, they'll tour the shop, but they don't get a chance to see what's inside. So let me open the door and you can come on in. So as you can see, it looks quite different than the shop looked when we were filming Overhauling. It has changed quite a bit. I've got a lot of parts in here, including this Lincoln Zephyr V12 flathead. Now, these engines were built in the Lincoln Zephyr cars that were built in late 30s, early 40s. Now with the hot rod equipment, it's a really cool motor. It looks like a flathead, but it's got 12 cylinders. This one I sold to a friend of mine. He hasn't picked it up yet. I originally bought it for myself and then changed my mind on the motor that I wanted to put into a car. So I had this one ready to sell and I went ahead and sold it. Sitting next to or right behind it, I've got a Columbia 2-speed rear end. That's gonna end up in this 33 Ford Woody that I purchased out of Georgia. I love this car. It is all original wood. It's got 11,000 miles on it. It's basically a stocker, but we put some mild custom, shall we say, performance parts on the original flathead, put a dropped axle and did big and little tires on it. And it just has a cool stance and it's just a fun car to drive. Sitting below it, I've got a 62 Corvette that belongs to Gary Kropp. He lives in Florida. We've got the chassis finished in the other shop and we're finishing up a paint job on one car. As soon as that is completely wrapped up, we're gonna roll this back into the booth, get it finished. I've got a grill that fits in the front that I need to get chrome, final fit it, then it's ready for paint. Sitting next to it, I've got a 57 Ford Country Squire station wagon. Now, I've had a new motor built for this. I've got a 312 Y block that I'm gonna stick in it. I'm gonna do a really cool set of wheels and tires for it. I wanna redo the wood grain, and I've got a set of really cool surf racks that are gonna go on top. Now I just need to find a balsa wood surfboard that'll sit on that. It's just a really cool, fun period piece that I'll be able to just enjoy on the weekends. Sitting above it, now most people know of the black 56 Ford F100 pickup that my father ran the team and they overhauled me and I got it back. Well, I found an original one that was restored by Dunkel Brothers. And when Dunkel Brothers was closing down basically they closed down their big retail store off the 55 freeway, and I bought a few items from them. That was one of them. So Dunkel Brothers restored it. It's just an all original F100 big window. And I love these trucks. And I really wanted to have a stock one that I could park next to my black one so you could really see the differences. It'd be fun to pull those two out, put them in the driveway and walk around them and show you the difference between the two trucks, get away from them, because a stock one looks like if you were driving 40 miles an hour and slammed on the brakes that the truck would pivot on the front end. It's the front end looks so heavy. And on the black one, everything's been reproportioned and it looks more like a sport truck than the stock one does. So maybe one day we'll put those two together and you can check it out. Now next to that, I've got two projects cars that are stacked here. I've got a 69 Mach 1 Mustang that I bought. I bought a Roadster Shop chassis, cut it up and moved it, dropped it another 2 inches. I had this one in the shop and I was working on it when I ended up working a deal where the Z28 pickup, the white truck that I own, the owner of that truck wanted to sell it. I wanted it back. I told him that I would like to get it. I didn't have enough money to buy it, but I had a few projects. I said, would you be interested in a trade? He asked me what I had, and I said, what do you want? He says, well, I've always wanted a 70 Chevelle. I had a 70 Chevelle. I went ahead and parked this one, pulled the 70 Chevelle out, ran that through the shop. We had it at SEMA this year. That's the orange 70 Chevelle. Now that belongs to Fred Hargrove out of Texas, and I got the Z28 back. Now I'm ready. As soon as I get a few things done in the shop, I'm gonna pull this Mustang back out. I wanna finish that. I'm gonna chop it. I wanna put a big block motor in it and just have some serious fun because the ride height on this is gonna be incredible. Right above it, I've got a full Fender 32 Ford Roadster that I started to build a few years ago. The project got put on hold. I don't know when I'm gonna get around to all my projects, but that's one of them that I need to get around to. The biggest change I made on this vehicle is took the doors and stretched those 2 inches, shortened the quarters so it doesn't, one of the problems I always had with the 32 Ford Roadster is the stock door looks so tiny on it. And they're really kind of difficult to get in and out of. By adding that 2 inches, I think it proportions the car better and it makes it easier to get in and out of. Sitting next to that, I've got another F100 that belongs to Mike Davis. He was one of our customers, still is, but he put this project on hold and I hope that one day we get to finish it. There is some phenomenal work into this truck. This needs more time than what we've got right now to share it with you, because I would love to pull that down and walk you through all the changes that have been made to it. Basically everything that was changed on the black truck that I have was done to this truck, plus a lot more of the things that I think would have been really cool to do on the truck. Unfortunately, Mike has put the project on hold. We built the whole frame for this. It's got all Kugel suspension underneath it, and just some really fun details that are a little above and beyond what we did on the black truck. And one day I hope to finish it and be able to share it with you. Sitting below the truck, you may have seen the Myers-Manx that we had at the SEMA show. Well, I was building 2 of them. This one belongs to Kathleen Jewell, my fiance, and I'm waiting for the body to come in from Myers-Manx. She wanted a tangerine, large metal flake, orange paint job. So they're finishing that body. Once I get it, it'll roll onto this and we'll go ahead and finish this project up for her. Sitting next to it, I've got a 69 Z28 Camaro that still has original paint and all the patina. Now the guy that I bought it from, he bought it from another guy that started to build this as a race car. He cut the tubs out of it, the rear wheel wells and the floor, and that was back in the, I believe in the 70s it was cut up. It's never been finished. It's a low mileage car, but unfortunately it sat outside, so it is really patinaed on the outside. The interior in this car was almost like brand new, but it was really, really filthy and dirty. I had to clean up all those parts. I've started to put the frame rails back in it. I mini tubbed it. One day I'm gonna get back on it and finish it. I've got a brand new motor in the corner over here, a DZ motor that's original matching numbers for the car. I want to put everything back in it that was stock, but I wanted to mini tub it and slam this thing on the ground with a really cool set of wheels and tires, but leave the original paint, and the patina underneath is brand new. On top, it's just a patinaed, really cool Z28 Camaro. Above that, I've got a 71 Pantera original push button. Now, push button means that the door opens with the push of a button. Most of the production cars had a rectangular door handle that you grabbed and pulled and that would open the door. Only the first 75 that came to the States had the push buttons. Those were all handmade vehicles from De Tomaso. When they got this project with Ford, they started building the cars, building them by hand. Ford wanted it to be a production car. By the time they got the production line finished, they made a few design changes. They changed the tops of the doors. The push buttons have a solid brass piece that's chrome plated. All the production cars had just sheet metal that was folded and welded, and then stainless steel popped on over that sheet metal on the production cars. The hand-built cars had that brass piece, which is what this car has, and the push button. I have 2 of them. I have this one up here. There's a red one in the yard right over here. Those are both original push button cars. One day I hope to be able to finish one of them. I'll probably sell the other one, but I got 2 so I can get the best of the best parts. I'll sell the other one. And underneath it is a chassis from the 33 Ford that we have in the shop that is in the paint shop right now. That's just the chassis that was underneath the car when it came in. We built a new frame and all the parts with that. So that one I just stuck underneath and put the body on top of it just for storage purposes. It looks like we're gonna build some 4-wheel drive off-road Pantera, but that's not what it is.